Share the Love started in 2001, containing one teacher and one jar for donations. Since then, Share the Love has flourished, raising thousands of dollars for families, a person, or organization, and creating an immense impact throughout the community, high school, and above all, the recipients. Each year, the community of Molalla opens up their hearts to the recipient families, and it is something truly special to see. 2020, the year with a pandemic, fires, isolation, loss, and so much more for some. Our world, our country, and our town struggled through these times. This year, our Share the Love recipients were just a few of the families that had extreme challenges throughout the year. The Marshall, Robles, and LaPlante families.
I'm Jim Marshall, 54. Just been a wrestling coach for about 25 years.
When he was in the hospital in the first 13 days, he was only awake for the first day and a half, and then he was medically induced into a coma.
In March, this country was told to stay home, to isolate away from everyone, and to not leave. The coronavirus hit the United States, and people felt the repercussions right away. Whether that was suffering from the virus, isolating away from everyone that they love, or struggling to keep up with bills. In the greater Molalla area, the Marshall family had to go through the worst of it. Back in November, the Marshall family all contracted COVID-19 and had to feel the symptoms in full effect. Everyone in the family recovered except for one, Jim Marshall. Jim was hospitalized in early December because of worsening symptoms and went into a coma right in front of his family's eyes. Thankfully, he woke up from the coma but had to be on a ventilator to stay alive. Eventually, Jim was able to go home, but he is still battling the pneumonia that came from COVID-19. Jim is undergoing rehabilitation and struggles with the unknown of his ongoing symptoms. Medical bills keep piling up, and without income, the Marshall family is struggling to keep up.
My father has dementia. He leaves without telling us. He has heart problems. He's the one who keeps the house warm for my mom.
Grandparents, parents, volunteers, and community members. The Robles family have been passionate community members since they moved to the town in the early 1990s. Now both in their late 80s, they have been diagnosed with a number of conditions, including pulmonary arterial hypertension for Mrs. Robles and early onset dementia for Mr. Robles. On top of these conditions, Mr. and Mrs. Robles have many problems in their home that need to be fixed in order for them to live their life to the fullest. Because of their medical conditions, their home deteriorating makes things much harder for this family. On top of all of this, when the wildfires hit, the Robles family was forced out of their home. This drained their savings and left them with nothing, even after a lifetime of working. With this community's support, we can help the Robles family's home and let them live the rest of their lives happy and at ease.
Hi, I'm Tiffany. I'm married to Andy, and we have 3 kids together, born and raised in Molalla, been here our whole lives. The wildfires are what affected our family the most in 2020. I was at work and got a call from a friend asking if they wanted us to evacuate our animals because the fires were headed our direction. I was able to get off work and go home as my family was packing up things that were important to them. Everybody grabbed a bag of clothes and one item that wasn't replaceable. And we evacuated into town, not thinking much. You really don't think that it's going to affect you, but we were told the next day that our house was no longer standing. It took everything, the barn, the shop, the hay storage for the animals, the house, everything. And it was a house that my dad had built from the ground up. That was hard, but actually driving up there and seeing it for myself was much worse. That was everything we'd worked for.
With the support of our community, the LaPlante family has high hopes to rebuild their lifelong home and the barn that houses their beloved animals.